Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Learning with Miss Nancy. And we have an exciting guest today. I'm so happy. And for those of you who are anticipating coming on, just come right on in. Just come right on in. Today we have a world renowned illustrator. Oh, I'm so happy that he has taken from his very busy day to join us, and it's Akin Brown. Well, he pronounces it. Look like I get my Akin Akin Shea.
Akin Sheye.
Yeah, that's it. So let me get. I'm getting ready to read his bio for you guys. Because I like to give you the background information, and of course, my phone just shut right down, but it's okay.
Okay.
So here we go. Akin Sheye Brown is an artist, illustrator, and writer that uses African culture, science fiction, and fantasy, everybody, to tell stories. His books include coloring books like Vejo. I said that right?
Yes.
And let me see. Just told me how to pronounce this. Say it again.
Capoeira. Vejo
Capoeira.
capoeira.
That's Portuguese, y'all. And
Mhm.
Umoja Force. And comic books like Sankofa Man and Dara Brown, 1996. His most popular work, How to Draw African Superheroes, Volume 1 and 2, have won a Pioneer Lifetime Achievement Award in 2016. Okay? Brown has over 20 years' experience in illustrating. He recently completed a story about Philadelphia hero father Paul Washington, which was included in the graphic novel BLAM, which is an acronym for Black Lives Always Matter. Yes, they have. And Hidden African American Philadelphians of the 20th century. Brown has served as the education chairman of the East Coast Black Age of Comics Convention Incorporated, which is the ECBACC Incorporated, for 5 years, and is one of the founders of the ECBACC STARS, which stands for Storytelling that Advances Reading Skills. Programs, which is an initiative to improve the reading skills of young people through the use of comics. He now serves as event coordinator for the annual convention, which celebrates Black images in storytelling while improving youth literacy. Brown is also the editor of the convention's two book publications, the Read for Fun Workbook and the ECBACC Program Guidebook. Brown sells his prints and paintings through his company, Sequoia Productions, LLC. Brown continues to inspire and educate folks through art and storytelling. Welcome. Woo! And he's so humble and he's so talented. And also, Akeem, I
Mhm.
noticed, I read an article that you created for the Hip Hop 50th annual celebration, the library card for Philadelphia. Who
Yeah, yeah.
I was at the hairdresser and I was just scrolling through and I saw your name and I was like, ah, and I told everybody, I said, I know him. They said, you don't know him, man. I said, yes, I do. And so I wanted to run out and
Oh,
get
you
my
know me.
own library because I have a
Library
library
card.
card, but they were
Yeah.
going so fast. They were going
Yeah.
so fast, but the illustrations were beautiful. So, folks, he did that for Philadelphia. Okay. And guess what else? I don't know if you noticed, but if you purchase any of my books, you know, Akeem was the illustrator of my one of my most popular books, Skin Color, Cookie Color, Sugar Sweet to Me. He is the illustrator. So come on now, I'm in good company.
Right,
And
right. Yep.
of Ghoulie Foofus, he's the illustrator. And my other book, I don't know why, and I don't know why I can't find it. I sold out. But anyway,
Uh,
thank
well,
you
that's
so much
good.
for coming. We're so happy to have you. And
Yep.
one thing I noticed, Akeem, folks who are really gifted and talented, they're usually very humble and quiet. It's like their work speaks for themselves. So God has blessed your hands, and we're so
Oh, thank
thankful that we are recipients of your good work.
you.
So my
Wow.
question to you is
Yes.
because my goal to have this show on Tuesday is to show the world that our brothers, our black men are taking care of their families. They're working hard. They're working in the gift area. And here you are, yet another example of that positive image that must be displayed, aside from all the other stuff that we see on social
Right.
media. Okay,
Right.
so for our young learners and for their parents, can you explain
Hmm.
to us what is an illustrator? We hear artwork, but what is an illustrator?
Right. Right. Well, firstly, I want to thank you for allowing me to be on your program and opening your house doors to little old me and some of my work. And I've known you for a long time, and I know you to be an awesome author,
Mhm.
writer, but also an educator that cares
Yeah.
a lot about family and young people. So I want
Mhm.
to thank you for all the things that you do for the Black family community as well.
Thank you.
And so, to kind of get right to your question, what
Mhm.
is an illustrator? And it's kind of funny because I kind of see myself as various things, but
Yes.
I kind of put on my illustrator hat
Mhm.
for our conversation. And
Right.
basically, an illustrator is a artist
Mhm.
that uses artwork to communicate an idea or tell a story. Now,
Okay.
for me, the storytelling element is very crucial and very important because I think storytelling permeates all parts of our lives. So I think
Okay.
being an illustrator is pretty important.
Okay. That's great. So now listen, just and if, even from my understanding,
Mhm,
when you think of artists, and that's such a broad area, right?
mhm.
So how is an illustrator different from a person that might be a painter, someone that might do sculpting? How is that particular field different from the rest?
Right. So when you're describing like a painter or a sculptor, you're
Uh-huh.
really talking about a person that uses a particular medium. So
Right,
a painter is someone that uses a brush and paint and canvas. That's a painter,
right,
right? That's
right.
why you can confuse it with a house painter, right?
Okay,
Right.
right,
And
right.
then somebody that's a sculptor, that's
Mhm.
someone that is able to use three-dimensional material with their hands or whatever tools they use to
Mhm.
create a physical, real three-dimensional piece of artwork, right?
Right.
Um, an illustrator, their primary job is to use either painting, drawing, or whatever material they have
Mhm.
to specifically deliver a message,
Mhm.
idea, or story. And that
Mhm.
message, idea, or story may not be their own, meaning
Oh.
that the illustrator can easily be hired
Mhm.
by a company or by a client that is
Mhm.
interested in delivering a message, idea,
Mhm.
or story, but
Mhm.
with artwork. And the
Okay.
illustrator will use their skills
Mhm.
paired with the message or idea or story to
Mhm.
deliver the idea.
Wow. So so you would have okay, so with that information, moving on to the next question, right?
Mhm.
So is an illustrator like what I always tell everybody that I work with, I don't care who you are, everybody's born with a gift. Not talking about talent necessarily, talking about a gift, something that God has
Mhm.
given you, you didn't earn. He gave it to you because he loves you. So we know that
Yes.
you have a gift in illustrations, right? Do you think that illustrators are born or are they made? Hard question.
Um, yeah, little, yeah, I guess it's kind of hard. It's kind of, yeah, it's kind of
The
like the
good one,
answer
the
is,
good one.
yeah, the answer is kind of already in the question. Is a little bit of both, right?
Mhm.
Because no matter what you do, you are gifted to do something on this world, in this world,
Right,
right? And it's our job to kind of figure out what that is, right?
right,
But
right.
I think with someone being an artist or an illustrator,
Mhm.
is it born in them or are they trained to kind of do it?
Right.
It's a little bit of both, right?
Okay.
You can have what I call a blessing of having like insight or
Okay.
sensitivity,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
that insight and sensitivity is really about your being able to see things in a different way, or you're able to connect things maybe a little bit different than other people. So, for instance, when
Okay.
everybody says it's a rainy day, if
Right.
you're an artist, you might think about the smell of the day,
Oh,
right? You
got
might think about, how the sky looks. Is it gray? Is it blue? Is it
mhm.
black? Is
Mhm.
it all white? You don't,
Okay.
you're not just looking at things for face value. You're
Right.
making different kinds of sensitivity connections, I would say.
Okay.
So being an artist is really some because I think everybody knows how to draw for the most part, right?
Mhm.
Just
Mhm.
some people just may not have a sensibility about it. So, for
Mhm.
instance, if you're drawing a car,
Mhm.
you may draw a rectangle and then two circles for the wheel. But
Mhm.
someone that may be either that might have the quote unquote talent or gift to go
Mhm.
further,
Mhm.
they might see that it's not fully a rectangle, but it's rounded at the ends, or that the
Mm.
rectangle is oblong and it's longer in the front and shorter in the back, or
Okay.
it's dips lower in the front and is raised higher in the back, or the
Okay.
windows are tinted,
Okay.
right? So
Okay.
an artist or illustrator are looking for all those different kinds of details that, and it sounds bad, but
Mhm.
the quote unquote common regular person may not
Mhm.
necessarily see. So
Okay.
that's really what it is. And then as the years go on, you're kind of compounding on that sensitivity. You
Okay.
know how when you see like martial arts movies and the monks are in there,
Yes.
at
Yes.
level one and they're practicing and
Yes.
they're trying
Yes.
to get to level 38.
Right.
So having a sensitivity or sensibility about things around you is kind of
Mhm.
like level one. But
Okay.
it's still it's going to need you're still going to need like training and
Right.
practice to get to all those other levels. And
Okay.
that doesn't have to be through school. It
Mhm.
helps if it is, but you know how black people are. It could be the school of hard knocks.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? They can learn
Right.
from just galvanizing all the information that they have around them.
Mhm.
Somebody in their community circle, at their
Right.
church, or family member might
Mhm.
be different things like a sculptor or a seamstress, or
Right.
even if they make pies,
Mhm.
you're still watching them with a craft, and
Mhm.
they're able to take something from the beginning
To
to the
be
end, because that's
right.
another part of being an artist. You
Right.
can't just start something and not finish it,
Right.
because
Right.
your
Right.
client is not going to appreciate that. So
Right.
you got to have a discipline as well, which
Mhm.
is another ingredient in the mix. If we were making like a stew,
Uh-huh.
you have the sensibilities, you have the
Right.
sensitivities, you have the
Mhm.
eye,
Right.
right? But you
Right.
also have to have the discipline, and then you kind of mix those together, and you kind of produce an artist or illustrator that's able to be successful.
Wow. And while we're listening, folks, I want you to look if you need to contact Akin there. I'm going to put like his information. So have a pencil and pad ready because you can reach him at www.sokoyapride.com. That's one way. I have a number of places you can see him on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. So write that down if you want to stay in touch with him, get in touch with him. If you need some work done, he's excellent. So right now, www.sokoyapride.com. So, again, I had a question. Something came to my mind as you were talking, because
Mhm.
as an illustrator, how frustrating is it for you? Because if somebody pays you, because illustrators get paid, early learners, understand that you're not doing this artwork for free. This
Mhm.
is a job, right?
Yes.
That you
Yes.
get paid good money for. But how frustrating is it for you? Someone might say, "Well, I need you to do this illustration for X, Y, and Z." Now they'll explain what it is that they want, but you might see something different because of your level of expertise, also because of the way your mind works. Like you said, you may see something that we don't see, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
even though you might see it, the client wants this. They say, nope, I want this. And even though you might see something that might make the illustration better, they refuse to listen, right? Is that
Mhm.
frustrating for you? Because I know it happens a lot. I know it happens a lot because I even know one of my books. You were like, "Well, you wasn't pressuring me, but you're like, oh, because you asked very good, thought provoking questions like, what does this
Mhm.
mean? What is the story?" And you ask all these questions because you want to know. So how frustrating? For example, I'll give you an example. I
Sure.
know I can write well, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
However, I am not a good editor at all
Okay.
because when someone gives me their work, I know this about me. I read your work and then I change what you give me because I see something, and that's not what you asked me to do, right?
Right.
So I have
Right.
a tendency, if you give me something, I'll give it back, but it's not what you asked for.
Mhm.
Like I have a sister who's a perfect editor. You give it to her, she checks it for spelling, for grammar, and not me. I take the content and switch it around. So how
Right.
hard is it for you not to do that?
Um, it's not that hard for me.
Okay.
It's not hard
Okay.
for me at all.
Okay. Is it
Um,
frustrating
th-
though? Is
this
it frustrating?
Is it frustrating?
Yeah.
No, not for me
Oh,
personally. But again,
okay.
just to kind of answer your question, I
Uh-huh.
know exactly what you're talking about, because
Okay.
just being in the industry for X amount of years, I
Right.
kind of see different aspects of that
Mm-hmm.
from different sides of the room, the artist
Okay.
and or the client.
Okay.
And what I realized from the artist, the service side, which is me being an illustrator means that I'm servicing you with my artwork. So the service side of the table, I see people that definitely get frustrated with that a lot. And
Okay.
then I see people that are like me are just like whatever the
Mhm.
client wants,
Okay.
that's what they get.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
so it's kind of like this. If you're a baker, right, and
Mm-hmm.
someone says, I want apple pie, I
Right.
want one of your fresh homemade apple pies,
Right.
and then they tell you how they want it,
Mm-hmm.
are you gonna make it how you want it?
Right.
They're the ones eating it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, some people feel that, oh, the client may not necessarily know exactly what they want, because, like you said, they might not necessarily have the creative vision that you do. So
Right.
they might need a little bit of pushing and prodding and a little bit more suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some clients don't want that much suggestion, right? But
Okay.
either way is okay because they're
Okay.
coming for you. They're coming to you with a service.
Okay.
Now, the only problem comes in, I think, is that when you have like the kind of stereotypical artsy fartsy aspect of a creator, and they're
Mm-hmm.
like, don't touch my work, you're ruining my vision,
Mm,
that
mm,
kind of
mm.
stuff.
Right.
I don't really have a lot of that when it comes to service.
Okay.
If it's not mine, I feel like you're paying good money for me to deliver to you what you
What?
see.
Right.
And I feel that my skill and my level of either quality or professionalism
Mm-hmm.
is being able to deliver to you what you see.
Okay.
Now, the other side of that is after I give you what you see, if
Mm-hmm.
the audience outside thinks what you see doesn't make sense,
Mm-hmm.
I still don't feel bad. That's not my
Okay.
problem.
Right.
That's not
Gotcha.
my
'Cause you
problem.
did what you
You
did what they
you
paid for.
asked for a drawing of a blue and red balloon,
Right.
and so I gave you that.
Right.
Now, if you go to the store and you're trying to like sell it for whatever reason, it doesn't work. And you're like, well, Akin's a great artist. This should be working.
You're right.
Well,
I did what you
you're,
want.
you're not you're not taking necessarily my suggestion of how the blue and red balloon should be. I
Okay.
gave you came to me, so in other words, you came to my bakery because you had the vision or the understanding that I was going to bake well. And you're
Right.
and you're right, and I can do that.
Right.
But if you tell me to put pineapple in the pie, you
Mm-hmm.
tell me to put mushrooms and bacon in the pie, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna give you an apple pie with pineapple, mushroom, and bacon. That's
Okay.
what you
Got you.
want. That's what you want.
Right.
Okay. Now, some other bakers may say, I'm not doing that because you're going to ruin the name and
Right.
ruin the brand of my
Mm-hmm.
bakery shop. And
Right.
I'm not having anybody say that my pies stink. My
Right.
pies don't stink.
Right.
I'm like, so it's a different vision. I'm
Got
not, I'm because if you're asking for my pies,
you.
then
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you my pies with no
Mm-hmm.
other person having input on it. So
Okay.
when you go to my website or something like that, and you
Mm-hmm.
see my work that's based on my vision alone, then you're
Mm-hmm.
going to see a certain quality and you're going to see a certain vision. But
Okay.
if somebody else is looking for something, it may not look exactly the same because now it's have to be paired with what you think.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay. That's a good explanation. Okay. So moving
Sorry
on.
if that was too long, but
No,
yeah,
that was no, that's fine. It's and very clear, very clear.
right, right.
So
I don't know.
what academic skills do you need as to become an illustrator? Like a lot of children just think, if I get into something that I really like, I don't need reading, I don't need math, I don't need. What do you always need reading? Go ahead. Zero.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, no, no. Well, see, my point with that is that to become an illustrator, need you don't need academic skills. However, to become a proficient professional illustrator of quality, where people respect you and respect your business acumen and things like that, you definitely need academic skills. You
okay,
definitely need academic skills.
okay.
Now, can you go out there and just draw and just do whatever you want? You definitely
Hmm.
can. And will
Yes,
people call you an illustrator? Yes, they will.
yes.
Will they hire you?
Mm,
I don't know. I don't
okay.
know
Right.
because for me, I found it very important that I was able to read, proficiently
Yeah.
because when a client gives you their work, you want to be able to comprehend
Hmm.
the dialogue, the
Hmm.
script, and
Mm-hmm.
then be able to interpret a type of visual from what you comprehend.
Okay.
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay.
Now, if you don't think that's important, then okay,
Right.
but
But it is.
but I think you definitely need it. And someone asked me this before. They said, "Do readers make better artists?" And I said, "Definitely yes.
Oh,
Definitely yes. Readers
okay.
make better artists because when you're reading, you are coming up with images in your mind as you're reading the literary text, right?
Okay.
And
Yes.
and that's kind of like giving you a foundation of different things that you can draw, sketch out, or paint or
Okay.
sculpt and things like that.
Okay.
So yeah, you definitely need academic skills. You need math as well
Yes.
because you have to be able to measure. I always tell my students when I have art students that you have to measure with your eyes. You have to use your African eyes to measure, even if you
Mm-hmm.
don't have a yardstick or measuring tape. Use
Mm-hmm.
your African eyes to measure. When I say
Mm-hmm.
African eyes, I'm trying to tap into their cultural sensibility that
Mm-hmm.
our ancestors had of being able to do things even if they didn't have all the specific tools, right?
Mm.
So the ability of look if like if you're painting or drawing a face,
Mm-hmm.
is the left eye the same size as the right eye? Is
Mm-hmm.
the nose uneven?
Mm-hmm.
Are the ears even on the side of the head? Is
Mm-hmm.
the hair dark black or is it really dark gray?
Right.
Use your African eyes to kind of measure the grades of color,
Mm-hmm.
measure the sizes and
Mm-hmm.
proportions of the face or body or what or the car that you're drawing,
Right.
right? Is the
Mm-hmm.
front end bigger than the back end?
Mm-hmm.
Use your eyes to measure, right?
Right.
But then also you're going to need numbers because when I'm doing graphic design, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to have, pixel numbers, point numbers,
Okay.
decimal point numbers to measure out the sizes of books,
Okay.
page number of prints that you need to
Okay.
make a publication work well,
Mm-hmm.
multiples of four.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that very well, multiples of four for the book.
Mm-hmm.
So you need numbers
Okay.
and
And that's good to
you need
know.
reading as well. Yeah.
That's good. Reading and math. Reading
Yeah.
and it's funny because when my daughter, the youngest, majored in music,
Hmm.
she would come home from college and say, "Oh my goodness, mom, music and math are so closely related. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you have to be good in you want to be a good musician, you have to
Yeah.
really know mathematics." So I'm listening
Yeah.
to you. So those who are budding illustrators, make sure that they know how to read and compute mathematics. It's very,
Right.
very important. Thank you
And
so much.
you definitely need math when it comes to the finances.
Yes.
How much are you charging per page, or how
Thank
much are you charging per
you.
piece?
Okay.
And is your 8.5 by 11 piece
Hmm.
financially scaled to your larger piece?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
If you're
Right.
charging $5 for 8.5 by 11,
Hmm.
when you're making 11 by 17, how much is that? Should it
Right.
be $10? Should it
Right.
be $15?
Okay.
Should it be only $8?
Hmm.
You have to
Hmm.
kind of measure, your value scale is that with that as well.
And you made I like this term African eyes. I tell
Uh-huh.
you, my husband must have some African eyes because I don't even use a measuring tape. I just ask him. He can look at something and tell
Mhm.
you. But he's been like a by trade
Yeah,
sheet metalist, so he
yeah,
just knows dimensions. Like he can look and say, "Man,
yeah,
that's this, that's this." Even with my
yeah.
books, I'll go measure and he's spot on. So
Right.
using your African eyes, I love that. I think that's going to be
Yeah.
my next book. Use your African eyes.
Oh, please do. Yeah, because people need to use them. They need to use
Yes.
them out here.
Handed
They
down from
definitely
my
need to use them out
ancestors. That's beautiful. So
here.
let me ask you another thing. Now, so when you're an illustrator, so I'm noticing you're talking about books, you talked about posters. I know for a fact that you did library cards. So
Yeah. Mhm.
illustrators do a number of things. Can you just name some of the things that they, illustrate, that they draw? So we talk about books. So some of the things you might not even think about.
Oh, well, illustrators are seen anywhere. You can
Okay.
primarily you can see them. What I like to say is things like obviously books, libraries. You can see illustrators a lot. You can
Mm-hmm.
see illustrators in the supermarket,
Mm-hmm.
illustration work. Every time you look at your favorite cereal, when
Okay.
you see the kangaroo doing like this, holding the
Mm-hmm.
piece of holding the crunch berry or something like that, all of those
Right.
are illustrators.
Right.
Um, when you look at logos, because logos they're graphic design, but
Uh-huh.
some parts of it are actually illustrated and drawn. So
Okay.
that's why like our graphic design friend and I work very well together because
Right.
part he may design and other parts I may illustrate. But
Hmm.
you may also see illustration work and things like, well, you may not see it because it's a lot of times it's behind the scenes work, right?
Okay.
So like when you think about the television and movie business, right? Illustrators are very prominent there. So before there is a superhero that graces our screen on TV,
Hmm.
somebody had to draw it,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
Before there is a spaceship that zooms across our movie screen,
Hmm.
on Netflix,
Hmm.
somebody had to draw it,
Hmm.
and you may not necessarily see those drawings
Right.
unless you watch those like behind the scenes extras and you
Hmm.
see those guys, looking very nerdy with glasses like mine in a small room just making these crazy drawings and
Hmm.
things like that, you
Okay.
know.
So
And
they're
definitely you
all
see illustrators when you're looking at your favorite animated shows.
okay.
Those,
And you
those
know,
are all illustrations.
and you do a lot of so comics is really your area that you specialize. I'm not
Yeah,
specialized. Your
you can say
favorite.
that. It's okay.
Okay, is that your
Yeah,
favorite area of?
yeah. I guess it's the area that I'm most passionate about
Yes.
because, though illustration helps to tell stories with images,
Yes.
and so I was able to take that passion embedded in my love for comics and
Okay.
kind of allow that for me to have like a service
Hmm.
into my job on the other end. But I really
Okay.
like, telling stories through comics because that was kind of like my youth growing up.
Okay.
Um, I didn't always like comics, but I remember when I started liking comics.
Okay.
I used to think comics were kind of like not that
Hmm.
great. But once I really began reading them and kind
Hmm.
of getting lost in how the artist was able to convey different ideas with just an image, and even without the words, just
Okay.
conveying the story without the words
Right.
was
Right.
fascinating. I was just totally enamored with it, and I wanted to do it, since a child.
I was
And
going to ask, like, when did you first start? Well, how old, how early did you start this illustration?
uh, what do you mean, artwork and illustrating, or you
Yeah.
mean liking comics? As young as I could remember, it's probably like 10, maybe
Okay.
10.
Wow.
I
Okay.
mean, I was probably drawing before that. I think because I grew up in an art household. My
Hmm.
father is a painter, and
Oh.
my mother was a fashion designer.
Oh, so
So
it was all around you.
yeah, it was already in the house. Like my
Oh.
mother, so like even my mother, Eva, yeah, she passed in 2015. But
Okay.
she was a fashion designer, and what I used to always see her doing is taking large sheets of paper and drawing her designs,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
she wouldn't just draw like one design and just that'll be it. She
Mm-hmm.
would have like different renditions, like
Okay.
the green outfit with long pants, the green
Mm.
outfit with short pants, the green outfit with a maxi skirt, the green
Okay.
outfit with a head wrap.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't simply that she was talented enough to kind of like draw like that. She
Right.
was also disciplined enough to see that there was multiple ways of
Mm-hmm.
attacking the problem in a
Mm-hmm.
creative sense.
Wow. Now that's
So
important for our
yeah,
parents to understand. A
yeah,
lot of this, the things that sprout out or that grow from our children was already birthed, I think, like the soil,
mhm,
like you could have gone in a number of directions, but here you have your beautiful mother and her memories are still in your heart.
mhm,
Fashion design, that's
mhm,
art. Then you have
mhm.
your father who's a painter. That's art. And here you are, right? So we got to be real careful what we plant in the ground, parents. We got to plant these beautiful seeds because what grows are these beautiful flowers, like our brother Akin. That's wonderful. So now,
Yeah.
Akin, I want to know. So I was going to ask who was your mentor or mentors. I would say probably your parents, right?
Yeah, they were. They definitely were.
Mhm.
Outside of that, I definitely had school teachers and things like that.
Okay.
And then I also had friends
Hmm.
that were peers or either slightly older or whatever,
Okay.
but they were already in the profession or they were already like a couple of steps ahead of me on the same journey. And
Okay.
so I would kind of look at them and say, "Oh wow, how'd you do that, man?" It's like,
Hmm.
"Oh, you work there? Like, well,
Okay.
put me on. How'd you do
Right.
that? Those kinds
Right.
of things."
Right.
So you know how black men do, or it's
Right.
like, "Hey, hook me up."
Right, right,
Like,
right,
how'd you do
right.
that?
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff. But
Okay.
then there was also a moment where I speaking like in comic realms, in the
Mm-hmm.
realm of comics, I was doing my own research because as you collect comics and read comics, you're also previewing people's work or reviewing people's work in the books because you're like, wow, I like how they solved this or how they did this one page or how they
Mm-hmm.
did the hair X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I ran across or I became familiar with an actual illustrator from Japan, and
Wow.
he made Japanese comics. They're called mangas, right?
Okay.
This is
Mm-hmm.
where anime came from, right?
Okay.
So I began collecting his work, and his name is Roichi Ikagima. Roichi
Mm-hmm.
Ikagima, and I think he's still with us, but he was definitely a senior
Okay.
compared to me, right?
Okay.
And I remember watching an interview with him, and it was in Japanese, so I had to read the subtitles.
Okay.
And one of the most poignant things that he said in his work, because his work was always so beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
the characters were all beautiful, beautifully painted Japanese superheroes and characters that
Mm-hmm.
did things in the city, and you can see the beautiful backgrounds and buildings and cars and all that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the interviewer asked him, what's the most important aspect of his work, and
Mm-hmm.
what are you trying to what's the message you're trying to deliver through your work?
Mm-hmm.
And he just looked at the illustrator, looked at the interviewer, and plainly said that, and I'm reading this now. He
Right.
said that I want every person, I want everyone that's reading my comics or my mangas to realize how proud they are or should be to be Japanese.
Whoa.
And so again, that hit home to me very much so because here I am, a black kid in the city,
Mm-hmm.
putting money out for a Japanese artist several seas away
Yes.
so he can make work
For
that's about
his people.
empowering Japanese people to be proud about being Japanese.
Yes.
And again, that's no shame on him. He should be doing that.
That's
That's
right.
beautiful, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
then obviously I take that lesson or message and
Mm-hmm.
I interpret it for myself and ask, well, why would it be a problem if I make artwork that is important for black people to be proud of being African people? And
Wow.
you shouldn't. And
Right.
so that's always been a message, and that's always been just a natural ingredient in my
Mm-hmm.
work, you know.
Oh
It,
no.
not, so that was really powerful for me.
And right, and because you said that, now I can show. Here's another way to find him: Instagram.com, World of African Superheroes. Because our children are always, we're always, honoring people. So we
Hmm.
need to go back and honor our own. Here you
Yeah.
are now. We got some Africans, not like you said, not to shame anyone else.
Oh
But let's
yeah.
just come on back home and figure out what we're doing in our community.
Oh
So
yeah.
we have a brother here that does African comics. So African superheroes. So we got to be going around looking for other people. We can look right in our own backyard. So Instagram.com/world of African superheroes. And what I like about YouTube, if you don't get it this time, you can play this back, write it down, and you'll
Yeah.
be able to see his work. So I can't, while we're talking about that, can you show us some of your work?
Yeah. I think the easiest way would to possibly uh
Now I have Sankofa Comics up. Do you want that up first, or
yeah, I think I'll do that. The Sequoia Comics website.
Sequoia? Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, let me
No, it's
see.
okay.
There
Yeah.
it is. Okay.
Yep. Absolutely. So
Look
thank you
at
everybody
that.
again for watching and
Yes.
allowing me to come into your TV homes and show you my work. So this is www.sequoiaprod.com, and what you see here is different things that I create. I create comics.
And
I'm
you
not
did
sure if
all
you've
of
heard of
this,
them.
right?
Yeah, I
King?
create comics. I
Mm-hmm.
do. Akin Art is the brand name that I use for like original painting and digital
Mm-hmm.
work. But then I also am getting into like fashion, like my mom, and I'm actually making printed clothing. I call that the Year of a Print Shop, and maybe
Wow.
you'll be able to see that. I'm not sure,
Yeah, I can see
but
it. A beautiful top. I see it.
yeah. So let me kind of go to the comics if you can
Okay.
still see it. There's different stories and characters here. I have Sankofa Man, Sanya, the Congolese Comet, Dara
Mm.
Brown, Panthers, Umoja Force. And so let me go to Sankofa Man really quickly. This is a story that I created back in the early 2006, 2007 7, and it's about a character that I created that goes to Africa for the first time, learns about its culture, and just like in comics, gets into a scientific accident, but then comes out on the other side being able to multiply himself. So it's a story about a black man in Africa learning about his identity, but also, trying to save
The
and
word.
protect people.
So
And I'm going
listen,
to be starting a
should I remove?
Kickstarter.
Should I
Sorry again.
remove it? Should I remove Sequoia Comics because I don't see anything else but these three people, three images.
Oh, wait. Okay, you don't see it anymore? Okay, hold on. Let me, because I thought it was shared. Hold on, let me share again.
Okay,
I apologize,
that's
everybody.
okay.
Do, 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 do. Okay, now you see it?
Let me see. I'm gonna add it to the stage. There. Okay. Now, if you scroll, I wonder if we can see if you can scroll and we can see. Yeah, you can scroll.
Yep,
Good. Okay, there you go. Yes,
yep.
great, great. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Look
so
at that.
I'm going to be starting an actual Kickstarter program
Mhm.
campaign for this
Okay.
for the next installment of the book. And anybody out there that's interested in helping out, please come on aboard because we're going to be telling some amazing, amazing stories.
So
And if anybody,
how do we get in touch with you with the
yeah,
Kickstarter?
I have a on my home page. I'm not sure if you can see it. Yeah,
Okay.
can you see it now? Yep. On my home page at the bottom, do you see this? This
It's
red
real.
button?
It's real. Can't make it out. But tell me, I may have it typed in already. Is
Okay,
it
hold
on?
on. Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm just letting you know that there's a red bottom at the
Oh, yeah, I
at
see
the
the red
top.
button. Yes.
Yep,
Okay.
red button at the bottom that
Okay.
says subscribe to my newsletter, and you
Okay.
can get all the information that you need to help with my campaign and different things
Okay.
just by
Okay.
subscribing. But let
And
me
then is
see
that
if
on
I can get
www Sequoia? Let
Pride. Yep,
me see. I've changed. There it is. So it would be there. Okay.
yep. So this,
SequoiaPride.com.
yep. So this is a little bit of my more, I guess, gallery type work,
Mm-hmm.
and you see like the illustrations there
You
of.
got to scroll some more because we're still seeing the three images. Just keep scrolling, and when you
Oh,
scroll,
wait, okay, hold on. I think I need to do this.
mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. Didn't
That's okay.
say.
That's all right.
Here we
It's
go.
no problem.
All right, so this
Oh,
is
it's
here for
fine.
gallery work.
All
Right.
right, there you go. Oh, what is that's beautiful. The who? What character? Oh, oh, Akin, those are sharp. And these are comics,
No, no, no. These are prints. These are
prints,
illustrations and drawings and digital paintings that I create that
and
are
we
meant
can
to
buy.
go on your
Can you
wall.
buy these? Can you
Oh,
purchase them?
absolutely. Yep. Come right to
Ooh,
my website and you can buy them.
oh, they're beautiful.
Yep. All right. Let me see if I can.
The Red Series. That's what it's called.
Yeah. Let me see if I can.
It's the Blue Series, I guess.
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. These are nice gifts to give away for holidays and birthdays. I have a grandson who loves comics and stuff. He thinks he's
Yeah.
an artist.
Actually.
That's nice. Look at
Yes.
that.
So let me see if you can go to. Let's just shop the gallery. Then I have
The
different things
fashion,
like this.
the
Yep.
t-shirts.
Yeah. So I'm just like putting different designs that I create.
Oh, we got to get this out, man. Oh man, let me think. Wait, stop, stop, stop. You're going to come down a little or whatever. Up on. Look at the
Uh,
t-shirts. Yes, like look. Stop there. Stop there.
yep.
Afro music
Music tees.
tees.
Yeah.
Those,
So African music has always been popular for the world, but
yes.
but to definitely support it and show people that you have a sensibility and you have a love and affinity for it. There's like shirts here that say Afrobeat,
Okay.
Afrobeat and R&B,
Yes.
house, those kinds of things. Yeah.
Oh, that's and so are these adult shirts? Do you make kid sizes?
These are actually adult sizes right now, but I can
Okay.
definitely get into kid sizes. You
Oh,
know what? I think they do go to kid sizes.
okay.
It's just they won't go to infant sizes.
Infant size. Okay.
Right.
So we
They'll
got
definitely go to kid.
t-shirts and
And then I have art mugs with
Smart.
two
Oh, those are nice gifts. See, Akin, we need to talk because folks need to be buying these and getting these for holiday gifts.
Yep, yep, yep. Go
Birthday,
right to my
holiday.
website and you can get them.
Yes. And folks, that's the website, www.sokoapride.com. We could just peruse the website. Oh, this is so, and I have a lot of friends. Oh, a lot of friends.
Yeah, yeah.
Stories and cash. So what's or something's on sale? What's on sale? You know, I like a good sale.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably the art mugs would probably be the best choice right now.
Okay. But that's so
And so,
cool.
yeah, just going back to the comics, I have a comic called Emoja Force.
Okay. So this is a comic book.
Yeah, this is a comic book, as you see, like different panels here where the story is being told from
Yes.
panel 1 to panel 2 to panel 3. And again, that shows the aspect I was talking about in
Uh-huh.
illustration, where you're storytelling,
Yes.
because you're able to follow the action and even the tension and the drama between the characters
Mm-hmm.
just by their body positions, their
Mm-hmm.
mouth actions, and just some of the colors and the composition is the word of
Yeah.
where the images actually sit on the page.
Oh, that is so nice. Unity is power. And they all have a positive message.
Yes. And
Comic
then
shop.
let me
Yes, okay.
see. And then I have books that will be coming out soon.
Okay. Okay.
This
What
is
is
a
this?
superhero here called her name is Sonya,
Sonya.
and most of my characters are superheroes that I locate in popular African locations. Like a lot of my characters might be operating in Africa or in the Caribbean or something like that. So
Oh,
you
wow.
know, so I try to deliver and share
Hmm.
with my readers
Hmm.
different aspects of what it means to be an African person or a black person in the world.
Yeah.
You know, you're not just from around the way.
And Ken, it's funny because at my mother's church, we just started partnering with
Yeah.
a pastor from Benin.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yes,
Nice.
and he comes on and he speaks because they speak French. You know,
Okay. Yeah. 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 The
you might
Francophone.
have to let him know we got a comic that can do some illustrations for you guys.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
Yes,
Definitely. Yeah.
that is so cool, Sonya. That's pretty, Sonya. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So.
love it. Keep going. You got some more. We look. My audience loves visuals.
Oh,
That's
okay. No problem. Let me see. I can show you. Let me see. What do I have here? I
so while he's
have.
looking, folks, remember we can now purchase African comic books, African T-shirts, African graphic arts at www.sokoyapride.com. I'm going to get some graphic arts done because you know holidays are coming.
Yeah.
Holidays are coming, and when you run out of things, when you need unique gifts that people don't have that you
So
can't
what I'm
find.
gonna do now is I'm gonna share my screen again
Okay,
one more time for you, if that's okay.
that's
Oh,
fine. Yes, that's
you know
fine.
what?
Mhm.
Uh, yeah. Okay. We're gonna try it, and hopefully it won't be an issue because
Okay.
there's some music on here, so I'm
Oh,
not sure if no, it's not bad music. It's not like that. It's
mhm.
just about whether or not
We can hear it.
or if YouTube is gonna ding it for
Oh,
copyright.
oh,
So
they
we'll see.
will. Is it your music?
No.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
they
So
will
we'll
ding it then. They will. I'm telling
okay, well,
you.
maybe I won't show that then.
Yeah,
I
they
won't
will.
show that.
They will put copyright strike or
Infringement on it,
infringement.
right.
Yes, yes.
So let me show you something else then. Let me show you something else really quickly.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you the world of African superheroes on
Okay.
Instagram.
Yes.
Um, but if you do want to follow me on TikTok, that's where you see a lot of my drawings.
Okay. I'm gonna put that up now. I
Yeah,
have
on
that
TikTok. Yep.
tiktok.com/@ African superhero.
Yeah, so some of my African superhero drawings, but it's accompanied with music and stuff. So you
Okay.
might like that.
Okay.
And so let's see here. So can you see my screen now?
Uh Yep. Let me add it to the stage. There you go. Oh,
All right.
whoa.
So in my exploration of African superheroes, I'm not just looking at people with fancy costumes all the time. I'm looking at some of the everyday people. You
Okay.
know what I mean? They
Okay.
may be a secret agent. They may be a spy. They may be,
Right.
the next superhero that you know crosses the world in different venues and
Yes.
retrieves information for their people. You never know.
Mhm. Right.
But
Oh,
then
those
you also have superheroes that have very colorful outfits and
Mhm.
facial paintings and hairstyles.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, those are Akin, you're so gifted in town. Look at these. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. See, now
So this
after
is
we get
definitely an
off, when we finish this, I'm going to go to your website.
Oh yeah, so everybody watching, it definitely helps if you
Yes, yes.
support by friending and following all
And-
my different platforms.
Absolutely. This is wonderful. Look at that. Look at that. And so each, you have a description by each, because I see I can't make out the words, but is there a description by each?
Actually, not so much. Really, these were just really experiments.
Okay. Okay.
So imagine it being like a digital sketchbook where you're like trying, like I was saying before, like my mother would make different designs
Mm-hmm.
on on based on one idea of a green outfit. She'll
Right.
make the one with the pants, she'll make the one with the skirt, the one with the
Right.
short, the one with
Right.
the jacket. So that's kind of what this is. This is like looking at superheroes from different aspects
Mm-hmm.
and different variations of a theme. So this idea is like a cyborg, a
Yes.
technological cyborg.
Yes.
So you see like the technology running through her face and her hair and things like that. So
Yes.
so that's
Beautiful.
one that's kind of like using like a ruby kind of idea, a
Mm-hmm.
ruby color. This one a more emerald.
Mm-hmm.
Let me
This
see.
is
Can I get to
beautiful.
another one? This is another computer idea with
See, we got
purple
to
kind
get you into all of the schools.
and this is actually some of my artworks from some of my past classes.
Okay.
We created superheroes of our own, and
Okay.
this is what some of their work looked like. And they created
Okay.
some amazing pieces of work.
Yes. Yes. Beautiful. Celebrating African heroes, superheroes. Oh wow.
Yeah, so these guys were really, really, really on it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just going to kind of go back to some artwork from my students.
Okay.
That one was really nice.
That's very nice.
Yeah. So what my students were charged to do was
Mm-hmm.
to not just create the superhero themselves, but
Mm-hmm.
also think about how those superheroes related to the environment. So this
Okay.
one is a superhero that's interacting with like mountains and in the sky and things like that. So you might
Mm-hmm.
see some of the clouds and
Mm-hmm.
some of the brown ground or earth. These are
Mm.
some more like technological
So when you
heroes.
say students, you were teaching at an art school or
Not necessarily an art school. It was just teaching at a school that just wanted something different for their arts program,
oh, got
and
you. Okay.
obviously it was a school that was interested or their primary mission was African pride and
Okay.
Black history. So
Yes.
we did African superheroes, so I kind of fit right in
Yes.
with the school's mission.
Yes.
But I definitely teach. I can definitely teach anywhere.
Okay. Got you.
Yeah. So just a lot of that.
I
A
love.
lot of that.
Well, this has been exciting. This I know my audience is going to watch this over and over and over. And while I have you here, I'm going to put down points. Facebook, www.facebook.com. Akin Sayi Art. Then
Yep, I can share your art on
we
Facebook.
have TikTok, tiktok.com/@ African superhero. And like I said, you can play YouTube over and over and over again so you can contact and see his work. Beautiful
Yep.
work.
I'm also on Amazon.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
Okay.
yeah, I have 2
I
books
wish
on
I'd known
Amazon.
that because I work with a small group of children every year and we always purchase books for them. We might have to buy your books for them.
Yeah, so these are coloring books that I created on Amazon.
Okay.
World of African Superheroes.
So where would we go under your name, or we just look up African superheroes?
Look up African superheroes. You'll see a lot of different ones,
Yes.
right? But I
Um,
think what is going to make me different, and I'll make a little sales plug, is
okay.
that I'm one of the few people on Amazon that's actually drawing it myself. You'll
Okay.
see a lot of people doing a lot of AI work,
Right.
and though I don't hate on anybody using it, I
Right.
do say that it's important to support people that's actually creating the work
Work.
themselves.
Right.
So
Gotcha.
all of this,
Hmm.
I'm not sure if you can kind of
I
see
can
this.
see it. Yes.
Yep.
I
All
wish I
this.
had known. Well, it's not too late because then we'll be buying some books for you from you.
So yep. So there's a part one and there's
How
a
much
part
are those
two.
coloring books?
I think they're just $10, over
That's
50
not bad.
pages.
That's not bad.
Original work. So
That's good. That's okay. So I will be purchasing some for my group,
no
and I know
worries.
some other my friends will be purchasing for their classes and things. So look, I'm going to put that up. I think I put up the I did the African superhero on YouTube because
Yep.
I stay on YouTube, so they can look up African superhero on YouTube.
Yeah.
We did TikTok. We did your website. Did I miss any? How about Instagram? Did I do Instagram? Well, here.
Yeah. Well, Instagram should be Sequoia Comics, or you can go to Akin Art. Either one. World of
I have
African Superheroes
Instagram.
is good too. Either one.
Okay, so I have
Either one.
Instagram.com.
If you
Hmm.
go to YouTube, you'll see some of my process drawings. So
Okay.
you'll see me actually creating the artwork. I speed it up so you don't have to sit there all,
Right.
all day
Right.
watching me do it. But you
Okay.
definitely can see it on YouTube.
So before we leave, because it's almost time for us to, first of all, you have been wonderful. This is like one of my best videos. I'm going to make sure people watch because people like to see visuals,
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
King, this is my question I ask everybody. Gun violence is running rampant in our cities, as you
Mhm.
know, especially Philadelphia. Oh my goodness. And so it brings on stress. It brings on fear and anxiety for our young people. How can art or illustration, just kids just starting to do that, how can that be used as a vehicle to just calm the nerves of children? Or can it be used?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Well, there is a real life profession of science that's called art therapy,
Yes.
and if you look those things up, I'm not an art therapist, but they do exist,
Okay.
and anybody interested in anything like that, they definitely should look it up
Mhm.
through their primary physician
Mhm.
or hospital and try to find someone that's good for you. But
Mhm.
if you're kind of just looking for like home remedies and kind of
Yeah.
like putting something in front of our children right now,
Mhm.
you definitely can put them in an art class or give them opportunity to just draw,
Okay.
because doing so allows them to obviously express themselves.
Mhm.
And it may not necessarily be that they're drawing something specific. It's
Right.
just the motion of doing it.
Right. Right.
It also allows them kind of like to slow down time.
Mhm.
I know that sounds kind of like philosophical, but
Mhm.
time is really important because as long as you can take a breath, you can slow down and
Yes.
kind of like center yourself,
Mhm.
you know, all your problems become a little bit more,
Mhm.
you can kind of attack them,
Yes.
piece by piece a little bit easier as opposed to
Mhm.
kind of like being bombarded by the world. So
Mhm.
sometimes taking a crayon to a piece of paper or a pencil to a
Mhm.
pad allows you to kind of like slow everything down
Right.
and wash away all those things that are not important and
Right.
kind of get to the center of you.
Right.
What
Right.
do you want to draw? How are you feeling right now? And a
Mhm.
lot of times, what people find is that once you're making these kind of drawings, you can connect a lot better to how you are feeling and then
Mhm.
be able to communicate that to somebody.
Right.
I made this drawing, and so now, wow, I guess I do kind of feel that way. Now
Mhm.
I know kind of like where I am.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yes.
And then what the drawing also does is sometimes when the drawing is something that you're really working on and you really
Mhm.
begin to love it and like it, you
Mhm.
get a self-induced burst of esteem,
Okay.
for yourself. You
Mhm.
say,
Mhm.
wow, I did this. This looks
Mhm.
great. So now
Yes.
you feel a little bit better about yourself as
Mhm.
opposed to maybe an hour ago, you may have
Mhm.
gone through something that was challenging or
Mhm.
unfortunately traumatic in some kind of
Okay.
way.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
The other thing I say about art, and I'll close after this, is that
Okay.
art allows you, like I said, the illustrator is about taking art and creating a story with it and pairing it
Mhm.
together, right?
Mhm.
And so that storytelling piece is really important because when you think about being able to tell stories, our life is story, right?
Mhm.
So if you're able to look at your life as a story, right,
Mhm.
you'll be forced to looking at the beginning, the
Mm-hmm.
middle, and the end of all your actions and all your behaviors
Mm-hmm.
and what you put out there. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're a person that's putting negativity out there, what's the middle of of the consequences of your actions? And
Mm-hmm.
then at the end, like what's the final conclusion of
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing,
Right.
right? And if
Right.
you don't like the end of your story, if you don't like
Mm-hmm.
where this is going, then that means you have to change the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yes.
again, I don't want that to sound too complicated and too
No.
philosophical because I
No.
can kind of go deep with it
That's okay. That's good. That's
because
good.
I really like storytelling and I really think storytelling is a
Mm-hmm.
tool to fight or to combat
Yes.
um, conflict. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
and give people a tool for conflict resolution. I really do. I really
Akin, you are a gem. And let me tell you something. Folks, you know you'd have to pay money to hear all of this information and these gems that he dropped on us. And I always tell people, we had a visitor that was a wordsmith. And
do.
you're definitely a wordsmith too.
Oh my
So some of these phrases, like I took something that you said, and I'm thinking now that we all need to use our African eyes
yes.
to self-induce, right?
Mhm.
And figure out a way to calm our nerves, calm our fears and anxiety, because that's going to happen. It's all around us, but we can take more control of what's going on if we learn to manage ourselves.
Yeah.
And one way to do that is through illustrations or art. And you don't got to be illustrated to do it, like you said. Take a
Right.
crayon to paper and just go for it.
Yeah.
Ah, thank you so much. And listen,
Thank you.
we are going to make as a community, because we have a lot of people that watch our shows, and I'm going to ask them to please purchase your uh, uh, comics on Amazon. Make sure that they go to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and to your website, because
And
we
sign up for my
always
newsletter.
and
Yeah.
your newsletter, and we want to help with the Kickstarter, because
Yep.
I want to be a person that I help with that when it becomes big, huge,
Yeah.
because the Lord's going to bless you. You're blessing his people, and he's going to bless you, and he has blessed you and
Yep.
will continue. So we're just going to ask everybody to just contact you. They can contact you, if they can play this back, because we have all that information, but make sure that we put our money where our mouth is. We have a lot of money in our community, so give it back, bring it on back home. Like you said, that artist from Japan, right?
Yep.
He's fulfilling the desires of his people with
Yep.
the money that he gets. So we need to fulfill the desires of our community,
Yeah.
because we have a lot of money. So
Yeah.
let's funnel that money so it can help it. Because Akin, you're not going to do anything but use that money to help other people anyway. So
Right.
that's the blessing. So
And
thank you.
sometimes,
Thank you
yeah,
so.
sometimes that money is just word of mouth. So
That's
just
it. That's it. Just tell people. Now I know I can, and it's what we always call sphere of influence. You can
yeah.
only influence people that you are around. So everybody got a circle of friends. You tell your circle, they tell their circle, and that's how things snowball. So
Yes.
thank you so much. I will be purchasing, and
Oh
I'm going
no.
to tell all my friends to purchase,
Oh, thank you so
especially
much.
my teacher friends that may not even know about your comic books and things. We're always trying to run to different stores. They can go right to your website and get the t-shirts, the graphics, and some of the gifts. Like, I like different gifts, so now I know where to go. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you.
No, I
And for
thank
those
you.
of you, if your first time, please subscribe to my channel,
Yes.
subscribe to Akin's channel, and make sure that we all just
Right,
support
right
one
down
another.
there. Where is it? Right down there is the.
I'm going to put it up again. Let me get it up, because I know I have all your stuff right here. Let me see. Is this it? Nope, that's .com. That's to contact you. The
Yes, that's
YouTube,
that's
let me
email.
do the
It's fine.
YouTube. How about YouTube? African superhero.
Yep,
That's good.
African superheroes. Yep.
Yep. Yep. So
Get
Akin,
the
thank you,
subscription.
thank you, thank you. And for those of you who come on every Tuesday, we have somebody special next week. So make sure you tune in.
Yep.
Akin, thank you again.
Thank you. I really
My
appreciate being
pleasure.
here.
Oh, this has been
It was
wonderful.
an honor. Thank you so much.
I'm going to